Well, hello everyone and welcome to my studio. In this lesson, we're going to be painting with the Catalyst Wedge this beautiful pink pansy with we'll put a few other pansies in there. And I've got out my paint and I'm going to be, as always, pushing paint around with that fun tool we've been exploring throughout this year. And I appreciate all your encouraging words. And if you like this video, leave me a comment below. And don't forget to share it with a friend. So anyways, let's get painting. Okay, so I've got out my paint, and to start off with, I've got titanium white, and these are all these Liquitex Basics brand. That's what I've got out. And to start off with, I'm going to tone the canvas with a little bit of the transparent brown oxide and some ultramarine blue, and I've got a little bit of this glazing liquid medium. So I'll just get that going. Get a little, if it's a little too brown, just add a little more of the ultramarine blue in there. And I'm just going to get, I don't mind it being a little more on the brown side, but if you want to gray it down, just add a little more of that ultramarine blue in there. And I start off my oil the same way. So if you're following along and you're using oil, you would just use some of the terp with your transparent brown oxide and ultramarine blue combo. I like it. It just gets rid of that white canvas right off the bat. And sorry about all that noise. Now I'm going to wipe it with my paper towel just a little. Just going to leave that like it is. And then again, I'll just take my paper towel and I'm going to dab a little spot where the pansy is going to go. The main pansy, of course, is the pink one. And I might put a bit of few of the other ones, but really, really abstract. And because I'm using such a large tool to paint this with, it's going to be kind of an abstract, loose painting anyways. So you can just sort of dab where you think you might want to put some of those other pansies, just to have little notes of purple in the background. Some of those purple pansies are kind of nice to see. But of course, the main one we're doing is this pink one today. Okay, so now I can start with this Catalyst Wedge tool. I'll add a little bit of this quinacridone as the base. And so I'm just going to put down some of that, just plain. And I'm putting that just pure quinacridone magenta color down, because I want to, I want to build from the dark to light colors, just so I can get that real dimension. And for those of you who are just tuning in, if you like painting loose and you've never painted like this before and want to learn how to do other things than this, I've got lots of videos. I've been working really hard on this channel this year. Of course, I do birds and some landscapes, but mainly we've been doing flowers, really loosening up our style this year. And it's been so much fun, and really fun to see how other people have caught on to it too and are enjoying pushing paint around and just enjoying the whole process. And I'm going to put where those little purple pansies are that are just sort of in the mix. I'm going to just block them in with a little magenta, because later I'm going to add the dioxazine violet on those ones to make them a little darker, but I thought for now just to have some of that other color in the mix, I'm going to put little notes of it around. Just you never know. You never know where you might want to see some of that color in small amounts, just to kind of have it in the painting everywhere else. So now when you have the basic outline of the pansy, I want to I'll use a little bit of that brown oxide because it's pretty uneventful, the color. So I'll just kind of put it where the center is going to be of the whole pansy, that real center of the pansy's face, kind of right there. And then I'm going to go and I want to sort of mark out the edges of the pansy. So I'm going to get a little bit of this white and mix it into that quinacridone magenta. So I start to kind of build on where the edges are a little. I can sort of see where those lighter frilly edges are. And so I want to look from the center, and I can kind of draw in where those are. And there's this one in the front. And kind of, there's one here. And it looks like there's part of a whole nother pansy coming out in the back. So I'm going to leave that one off, even though it's in the reference. And I got this reference photo off Pixabay. It's a royalty-free website. So I'll leave it in the link below, in the description below, I mean. And then you got those little center things. Okay, so now you can kind of see a little bit more where everything is going to be going. All right, so now we can go in and start to build a little more excitement. I'm going to get some of that brown oxide and mix in kind of some orange and yellow and make a warmer color and get some of that in there. Get that little part in there, just block it in. And I didn't go with the brightest tone of it right away, so I left that in there. And then I'm gonna get a little bit of this dioxazine violet, and I'm using this other Princeton catalyst tool. It's called a 15, and I'm gonna use that to pull in some of that, the centers of the pansy. So I'm putting it right near the edge, and then I'm just gonna kind of pull it out. And then I'll get some more and do the same here. And you just gotta not be picky at all when you do this. You know, just kind of put it down there and don't muck with it too much. You just the less you muck with it, the better it'll look. And same with these. I'm just going to pop in some of those darker flowers around. Maybe this one's kind of, we'll put this one kind of hanging down like that. Okay. Now we can start to add a little more detail to our pansy. And so I'm going to just clean this off. And at this point, if you don't have one of these, you know, you could use a palette knife like this and add some more paint to your pansy. It's you know, just about loosening up, so I'll get some of this and some white. And I don't even mind the paint not mixing fully, because then you get some of those lines that you see on the pansy. And you just want to have fun with it. You know, you know, if you follow your reference too close, then you know, you might overthink it. So I'm just adding some light edges here and building up the edge there. You can always go, and if something bugs you, you just go and mix up some darker paint, and you can go back over it. Say like here, if you don't like how much got in there. And get some of that lighter paint, and kind of, you can go this way so you get the feeling of the way the pansies actually, you know, kind of goes around. And then go back with your and then you can, if you're just using your catalyst tool, you can do the same thing. And then we want to go and get some of that bright yellow and just really put in that center. And now with some white, really trying to get that center bit in there. And then you can get some white and just add some little edges to the pansy. And now I can get some dioxazine violet, some white, a little quinacridone magenta, mix up something kind of pinky to, you can, like a pinky purple color, just to, these ones you really don't need to worry too much about the details, because they're sort of there just to add some color to our painting, because the main one is this one. Okay, so now you can add a little bit of the green in there, and I'll go in and I'm going to add a little bit of this olive green and just really have fun with putting in some colors that complement your pansy. So I like this olive green because I know it's going to really hum along nicely with those purples, and then I'll get some of that sap and get in a few darker notes there. You can even add some of those turquoisey colors in there. And if you don't have any of that at home, just take even some Viridian and cobalt blue, and you can add a little white to it, and you can make a pretty nice, a pretty decent looking turquoise for at home, just from mixing it up. And then you can just put in some marks to show, you know, that there's some leaves and grass-like kind of things coming up behind it. You could do something like that. Even add a bit of the purple in there, and just have fun with it. You can add as much detail or as little detail as you want. Some people like, you know, just leave it with that plain kind of gray background, can look really cool too. Okay, well, that's sort of it for the pansy today. I hope that you enjoyed using these tools to paint these this fun little abstract pansy. And let me know what other flowers you'd like to paint in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching this lesson, and I hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you, and have a great day, and happy painting.